Now it is. Hi guys, this is Dharam. And can you please confirm, Amit, can you confirm, send me a WhatsApp message that you can hear me, you can see my screen, or can you put a chat so I know that it's working? And somebody please write on the chat. Otherwise, I will assume that you can hear me, watch me. Yep, okay, good. Great, thanks, Sandeep. All right, so thank you very much for joining this session, special session. And it is always a privilege to have a guest, special guest. In this case, I have Ben Newman. He has recently passed his exam. So it's always a pleasure to bring who recently passed, who got fresh, everything fresh, and what has worked for him, and what is going to, most likely work for you as well.
Okay, hi everybody.
All right. So a little bit about myself. My name is Dharam Singh, and most of you already know about me. I am doing training PgMP aspirant for last 8 years now, 8 or 9 years. And as of now, I got 141 PgMPs. So it is a great journey for myself, and I hope to add more and more value to you guys. So without any delay, so let me tell you how this will go. First of all, I will introduce. Introduction will happen, and Ben will be speaking. Rather, I will be asking questions. In this case, an interview special, like a special interview with Ben. So I will ask question, Ben will answer, and then once Ben is finished with his interview, I will be taking you through a journey about how to do the application, how to prepare for your exam, common mistakes, and a few other things. All right, Ben, let's start with you. And this is, by the way, Ben, how he looks like when he's in suit tie, and you can see him how he is now. Anyway.
Yeah. Thanks, Dharam.
Ben, yeah.
Right. Can you hear me?
Yes,
right.
We can.
Okay. I work at Deloitte, and we a lot of us don't wear ties, so I am in the office today. Right. So a little bit about myself. So I work at Deloitte, internal within the ITS department. I'm a senior manager here. And for the last 7 years or so, I've been focusing on the ERPs, success factors, SAP, and putting those inside Deloitte. So as you can imagine, it's a fair bit of a challenge. And I've been doing the program management for about 5 or 6 years now. Gradually, as a lot of us, right, we gradually work through, small projects up to larger ones, and all of a sudden it becomes a program. And so I thought it was best that I get myself a certification for a few reasons. I'm probably preempting one of your questions here, Dharam. But not only to learn, but for recognition, and to also stay ahead of the pack, as I like to say. There's always you need to. Yeah, you never know what the future is going to hold, right? So you need to be attractive for any future employees and even your own employer. Sorry.
Exactly. Good. So yes, you actually answered my first question. Why you decided to be PgMP. Fantastic. So my next question for you is, if you can talk about your journey. When did you start? What did you do? Time commitment. And I think I have your screen as well. You did a really good job in putting together all the dates and what you did.
Yeah, thank you. I'm certainly not a visual expert, so good old Excel. I think my journey actually was over about 4 months. I'd been thinking about doing this certification for years, for a long time actually, and I'd first met Dharam. I don't even know if you remember this. It was actually one of the PMP PMI sort of nights many years ago. It could have been even 10 years ago, right? We'd never had this conversation, but anyway, there's a bit of history, and I'd been nagging Dharam ever since about when's the next course on, and I'd always ask the question and never commit. So I finally committed around October, and I guess it was sort of about 3 months worth of effort. I was ill for about 4 or 5 weeks there within all of it. But basically, I think it took me probably 160 hours all up of study, and that study was predominantly done in the weekends. Work is always so tough, so hard, and I'm always quite tired by the time I come home, particularly with 3 kids. So I think the key points on this slide here is, before I even started, I kept on reading everybody's lessons learned. And also throughout my study, I kept on reading everybody's lessons learned and also their successes, and I found that actually motivated me. I joined Dharam's Fast Track Mentoring course around mid-October, a couple of weeks after that it started. And I really enjoyed this particular course because you did a little bit every week. And I think it was every Saturday or Sunday, we would get together, through a process like this, go-to meeting, and we would learn a little bit, and we would ask questions and learn from each other. And I really like that little and often sort of approach, rather than spending 3 days in a course, which is, I think, one of your other options there, Dharam. I certainly prefer the little and often sort of approach. So as part of all of this, the application itself took a fair while to put together. So I think if you can actually put that together, you're well on your way, right? It really does take quite a while to do while you're trying to study and learn all of this material. Fast forward about 10 weeks, then the Dharam's Fast Track Group Mentoring course completed. By that point, I just submitted my application, and that got turned around pretty quick, actually. They do an administrative type review, providing you haven't been audited in the first place, and then it goes to a panel review. That got completed pretty quick, and all of a sudden I was able to schedule my exam. Now at that point in Sydney, there weren't too many options possible. It was either do it in about 3.5 weeks or wait another 9 weeks, and I just didn't want to drag the study on for that much longer. So I doubled down and ended up taking a little bit of time off, actually, and really completed my study and passed that exam on the 21st of February, which I was very relieved. So that was a really good result.
Yeah, that's good. Ben, quick points on the audits and panel review. Yes, lucky you were very lucky you missed the audit. So audit, if that has to happen, you will be picked up as soon as you submit the application. If you do not hear anything back from PMI for let's say 15 minutes, half an hour, or even let's say 24 hours, you can safely think that there will be no audit. Okay, if no audit, that means you're lucky. And the second thing, panel review, it can take from somewhere from 4 weeks to 8 weeks, and I've seen many applications now getting approved faster as well, even 1 or 2 days. Ben, how long it took for yours? A week or 2?
Oh, less than 2 weeks. 10 days, I think. It was really quick. And if you remember, a lady on on this particular group course, one of her applications, it sort of got stuck, didn't it? So it's a sort of a mixed bag. But for mine, it was very efficient, very quick. And my only concern with the auditing side of things was it was going to slow me down in terms of time. But I don't think anybody should be worried about being audited. It's just part of the process, I guess.
Perfect. Yeah, so it can be a lengthy process, but nowadays I've seen PMI is getting better and better. They are doing faster turnaround on the panel review. All right. So, what was the daily commitment? How much time you were spending?
As I mentioned before, it was mainly weekends, actually. My family were very supportive. There were some nights, but as I said, I'm very busy during the day, and by the time you get home at 7 o'clock or whatever, sometimes I just didn't feel like it. So mainly weekend. Yeah,
perfect.
And it was pretty much all weekend, right? So probably 8 hours a day. Yeah.
Now you're spending 2 hours in the group, and then rest of your hours probably studies.
Yeah, but before, but during, but after. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yep.
All right. So my next question is, please share some experience about the application. How did you go writing application?
I guess when you first start this, you need to read you need to go to the application itself and figure out what information is required in the first place. So a little bit of planning, right? You need to do that. Dharam was very supportive, providing guidance and tips to filling that out. It did take a long time because there is, you need to do experience summaries. You got a couple of different options. You got 4 of them, and you got an option A and an option B, and then you need to provide a summary of what the program is. All of that stuff really does take a long time because it isn't always in your head, and you need to sometimes do a little bit of research. Dharam then does a review, which I found very helpful, and then I made some small changes and submitted it. And I'll tell you what, it's a good feeling to have that thing submitted.
Once application submitted, that's really good feeling, because yes, it is hard work, and sometimes you may find it's difficult to put words, but based on the example I'm going to give in a part of the program, example and the video, which will tell you what exactly to do and what not to do. Yeah, I think it will not be that difficult once you start. Yeah, you need to sit down and start thinking and start writing.
Yeah, I think it's time intensive at a time where you just want to get into your study and learn the SPM, the standard for program management, things like that.
Yeah.
So we'll talk more about that in my lessons learned.
Yeah. So yeah, tell us about your, what did you do and what preparation material and what books and other things you did.
Okay, so welcome everybody to a long list of materials. Let me start to go through these, okay? The first 4 are from the PMI. So of course you got the standard for program management, which when you get it is actually quite a small document, but don't let that fool you, okay? You've also got a exam content outline, of which that's what the exam content, the exam is based on. Dharam has a really good pathfinder where he provides the links, the relationships between the exam content and also the standard. I say this tongue in cheek, we cannot escape the PMBOK, okay? The PMBOK is very important, and it's absolutely critical to the understanding of program management as well. So you need to give that a read, and that's actually quite thick these days, isn't it? The ethics code of practice as well. You need to give that a good read as well, and that comes through in all of their exams. Dharam's got a really good question bank and a complete reference guide, which we use for the group mentoring every week. I found that very useful. In addition to that, once you've done enough study, you want to be able to practice this. So those that have done the PMP or any other PMI cert will know that the faster you can get into those practice exams and fail early, as you say, and learn from your mistakes, the more on track you're going to be. So there was one from Jean and one from Ginger, and one from Dharam that I used. They're all very good. Also the what do we use now? There's a Telegram group. It used to be a WhatsApp group. People are asking questions and sharing their answers and perspectives. Yeah, that was quite handy. And then finally, I bought this book, Implementing Program Management, which basically has a list of artifacts and a bit more information about things, which I use more like a recipe book, right? I didn't read it from start to end, but as I went through the standard for program management and whatnot, when I wanted more information, I would go into that book. And all of these I did hard copy. So I always bought the hard copy, and I'd get my pen out and I'd be underlining things, so that when I went into it next time, I'd know where to sort of focus.
Yeah. So I think the sessions we had on the weekend were also useful to learn how to do the exam questions. Where so those the idea of those sessions is just to not only how to do the questions, how to pick the right answer in shortest time, and that probably helped you as well.
Oh, absolutely, it did. Absolutely.
All right. So your exam preparation, mock exams. What did you do? And a little bit on that.
Yeah, I started to put something in chronological order, but it just started to look complicated, right? So look, at the end of all of this, I would have read the standard for program management and the exam content outline at least 5 or 6 times. The PMBOK once, and the ethics and code of practice a couple of times as well. I guess at a high level, you want to get a good understanding before you start doing these practice exams. And I probably read the standard maybe even 3 times, because I think my initial scores here were relatively high, because I think I'd done that extra preparation from what I'd heard. So you start off doing that, and then I did one of the practice exams. Then after I do that, I'd go back and I'll read the standard again. I'll do another practice exam, etc. Now those percentages that you see there, I'd done each of them twice. So the first one is like with Dharam's, I got 80%. I went through, corrected myself with what I got wrong, and then it got a bit higher. So I don't know if you're going to talk through that, but each of those different exams, there's sort of a figure that would give us a bit of comfort, right? I think for Ginger's exam, if you got around 60, yeah, you're on track. For Jean's, if you got around, I think it was 70, 75, yeah, and you're on track. And Dharam, I think your one, what was that, around 80? 80, 85.
Yeah, 80, 85 for people who are in my class, because some of the questions are repeat, because some of the questions you already know and answers were there. And that's where my expectation in my question bank, when doing as part of the program, is 80 to 85%. But in yeah, around 80% should be enough for you. And did you saw any questions, a similar question from my exam in your exam? People do say they see a couple of questions, similar questions.
Look. To be honest, I forget. I remember we'd had a phone call straight after the exam, and it's all a little bit of a blur, to be honest. But yeah, I think there's a large similarity, particularly with your questions and Jean's. A lot of scenario based. I think the preparation, we've done together, obviously paid off. So
just to on the Ginger's exam, while Ginger's exam is harder to do, and some people are trying to avoid this question, but my suggestion is still do them. One is, first attempt when you do is going to be a shock to you, around 45-50%, and people get worried. So don't take as a negative. Try to take that as positive, because here you're going to learn what was missing in your learning, and especially her explanations. She will take you to the minute detail of the SPM. So don't ignore Ginger's exam, and also read the explanation in detail and read SPM based on that. So when you do the next exam, it will be much better.
Her exams are pretty tough. So keep the motivation up, and swap to another exam as well, so you get the higher ones. So
it is good to see harder exam now rather than later on. When you scoring just 75, 65, 80% in 65, 70% Ginger's exam, you will enjoy the exam, because real exam is not as hard as Ginger's exam.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. So what else? What did you do? Let's talk about your preparation strategy.
So just some ideas here. This may or may not resonate. Where do we start? I guess this is in the next level. So with the ECO, the examination content outline, there's 72 tasks in there. You need to know that. That's what the outlines, the examination's based on. What I actually did was I put all those into Excel, chopped them up, and then sat on my bed, and then I actually grouped them up into the different domains and the different life cycles. And some of it won't make sense, but some of it could fit under a life cycle, under a domain, right? Because there's 4 domains that go across the life cycle. So there'll be a few head scratches in there, but that's one of the methods I use to get that information to my head. There's a good table within the standard for program management that lists all the artifacts, so know what they're for, where you need to use them in the process, the content, what the next step is, etc. There's a whole lot of what we're calling supporting activities, which is very similar to the knowledge areas in the PMBOK. They call them I don't know, in the third edition, reference locations, a little bit weird, but just know that there is a list of similar knowledge areas that cuts across all this stuff too. EVM, you know, there's a few mathematical formulas that you need to know in a few questions. Yeah, again, you know, the PMBOK requirement gathering techniques, affinity diagrams, nominal group techniques, your multi-criteria analysis, all of the stuff should be relatively, you know, basic and known. Different ways to collect requirements. So you're at a high level managing a program, you need to know all of this stuff, right? You can't escape it. There were a few questions on the expected monetary value analysis, a few things that you needed to work out there as well, which I hadn't come across for quite a while, so learn those. It's part of your qualitative risk analysis. And again, under the details there, I mean, that's not all of the artifacts, right? But that's a lot of them, and it really is a big focus on the program mandate, business cases, program charter, roadmap, program management plan. You know, some of those key planning documents that one baselines.
I think the key is to know each and every artifact, the document. The main thing is what is the purpose of this document, and what are the key content of the document, and what are the key input to the document. If you get that part clear, it will be very, you will see 2 to 3 questions from each of the artifacts. And if you are very clear about the document, it will be very, very helpful for you. And things like phases, which phase you are in, which domain you are in, which subdomain you are in, all those things, and which process you are in, there will be only minute difference. If you know clearly how these are differentiated, then it will be very smooth for you. It will be very easy exam for you. All right. Type of questions you saw in exam. I think
next slide there. Yeah, so look, a lot of this, like pretty much everything's scenario based. Okay, so some questions are going to be longer and shorter. You know, such, you know, you are a program manager, you're doing X, Y, and Z. You're at this point of the program. You know, what are you going to do next? That sort of thing. So a lot of these questions are based on your own professional exposure or experience. You know, that's one of the prerequisites to being able to sit the certification exam in the first place. So the scenario-based questions is one part of it. As we talked about it as well, also the deliverables or the artifacts. You need to know where they are at in terms of you know, the life cycle, the inputs, the content, the outputs, the purposes. You know, and again, a lot of everything's based on the ECO, the examination content outline. So you need to know every word counts, right? Every word counts with these phases or these tasks. There's 72 tasks as part of the ECO. So know those very well. And then of course, as I mentioned before, you've got some mathematical type questions. A lot around how do you select a project in the first place? You know, internal rate of return and payback and things like that. So again, just as you're going through all of this stuff, remember you're a program manager, not a project. There were many times as I was studying this, sometimes I'd actually start to get into a project mentality. So you need, and Dharam's very good, right? Pretty much in every session, it was like, remember, you're a program manager, you know, so just remember that mindset as well.
And I think that's a common mistake people are doing. When they go to the exam, they accidentally pick answers with project, like the project chart or project business case. And you may be thinking that you got it right, but actually you got it wrong because you accidentally picked, instead of program charter, you picked project charter. And you have to keep reminding yourself, hang on, why I'm picking project? It's not a project, it's a program. So this can, by this small if you're careful, then you can get few more questions right.
Yeah. Just take a second and read that question again. Yeah, you can be tripped up pretty easy. Yeah.
Yeah. So your lesson learned, please.
All right. Okay. I got 10 of these beauties. Okay. So, and look, I think we can probably all agree on this call, right? Planning is a big part of what we do, whether it's at a project or program management perspective. So know the overall process. We talked about an application, the panel review, the exam. Have an idea of the timings. I mean, for me, I wanted to get it done within 3 months. So have some sort of plan there about where you want to do it. You don't want to be studying for too long. Select, if required, a good coach, mentor. I had Dharam in this case. And that, as I said, that really helped out with the cadence, the weekly cadence for me. Once I'd signed up, we had a good, 10 weeks or so to work through that. That was really, really good. Gives me a bit more pressure too, right? Because every Sunday I needed to prepare for that. And I'm one of those people who needs to be prepared, or else I feel a little bit uneasy. So always prepare for that. And as I mentioned before, read those lessons learned. Keep reading them on LinkedIn. There's some really good stuff there. And as I said, I must have been reading those for maybe up to 6 months before I even started doing this, and I continued to read them all the way through, just for motivation. So plan. The second one is just set your expectations. If you thought the PgMP application took a long time, this will take a bit longer, and it will. I sort of felt it got in the way of my studies, right, learning. So just set your own expectations with that. I participate in the social forums, the WhatsApp or the Telegram type groups. Understand different people's points of view, and put yourself out there. I mean, I actually didn't answer too many questions, right? But I think when you do, you're putting yourself out there and you're really turning your brain on. And when you look at everybody's different perspectives and why they answered something, a few things click into place as well. While you're at home in your office or whatever, all by yourself, lonesome, reading, your head in the standard or whatnot, draw on your own experience, relate your own practice and experience to the theory that's in the book. And that really makes it a bit more real. So the next one is keep your eye on the prize. Sounds a little bit cliche here, but believe in yourself, stay focused and motivated, right? Particularly when you do Ginger's exam. And keep reading those successes. When people pop them, say, "Hey, I passed my exam today." That's really motivating. That's good, and continue to read. How they did it. You just need to put in the time. There are no shortcuts, right? So again, if you're 2 months into it and you're reading it, and you just need to keep pushing through. You need to put in the hours. If you've got a good base of experience, it's just putting in the time, right? I don't think any of that stuff is hard. You just need to put in the time, and if you're well prepared, you're going to pass. Next slide there, number 7. This is the way I tend to live anyway, right? You need to measure to manage, particularly with when you're doing those practice exams. You need to know when you're in the zone. We talked about those respective exams needing 60%, 70, 80, 85. So you need to keep an eye on what your scores are. And once you've done exam, the very important thing is you need to go through and understand why you got your questions wrong, and then learn from those. Read the standard, the content outline again, and then take another exam. And your scores are just going to go up and up. Number 8, the day before the exam. This is really good advice from Dharam. Take the day off. Clear your head. I actually went and saw a movie. It's the absolute escape, right? And that was really good advice. So don't cram to the last second. It just adds to the stress, I think. During the exam, stay calm. What I did was a 4-hour exam, so I took a break in the middle just to keep the energy up. Had a bit of fruit, chocolate, water, all that stuff. And just keep yourself composed and know where you are at. Like at the 2-hour mark, you need to be halfway through. Just have an idea of what that actually means and whether you're on track or not. The funny thing is, during that exam, when you've actually finished all the questions and you've done your review and the time's up, you really want to know your results. And then they put up, I think it was like an 11 question customer satisfaction survey. So so you try and whiz through that. So that's a little bit frustrating. Then all of a sudden your marks will come up. So anyway, just a word of warning there. In terms of utilising your exam time, For me, I didn't want to get out there as soon as I can. That wasn't my approach. My approach was to utilize all of that time, 100%. And I had 15 minutes at the end to review. I think I would have hoped I had more, but that was sufficient. So I took 100% of that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it came up as a big part above target. So I was very, very happy with that.
Yeah, it's above target. It's a great result. Fantastic. Ben, we got a few questions. Let me read them. So you have mentioned practice exams. Which one did you use? I think you already answered that question.
Yeah, those three of them. There's Jeans, there's Gingers, and your question bank, Dharam.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good to get a slightly different perspective.
I think, yeah, that's right. We don't need too many question banks. If there are 3 or 4 exams, that's good enough. And these are recognized, many people are using them. So stick to them. They will give you good value. Yeah. Next question is from Praveen. What should you think that an applicant should take care while writing the application? Sorry. Sorry about this. Yeah, so while filling the application, it is very important to talk about your own experience as a program manager. And you have to use the word like I because of me, and I was responsible. So if you can wait a little more, Praveen, I have a few slides. I'm going to talk about them. I will take that question. Then another question: did you attempt practice exam multiple times? I think you already answered that one.
Yeah, so I did it twice, each of them twice. And before I even started the first one, I made sure I was quite prepared. And I'm pretty sure I had read the standard and also the examination content outline at least twice, maybe even 3 times before I even sat the first exam.
Yeah. All right, what else we have? And Ben, you are also MSP, okay? What are the difference between PgMP and MSP? Okay, this can be a question.
I've forgotten to be honest. Look, the only thing I'd add there is, Prince 2 versus PMP, MSP versus PgMP, they're very, very complementary. I forget when I did the MSP. Look, I've got a fair few. I was just having a bit of a laugh to Dharam before the call. I've got quite a few certifications, and my intent isn't to get a whole lot of letters after my name. It's just sort of a step up with learning each time. And I think there's this half-life of knowledge, right? As soon as you've done an exam or you've studied, over time you gradually do forget some things. So I can't answer that. But they're very complimentary.
Yeah. So other thing, there was another question from Pembok. So from Amit saying, what did you read Pembok? I think you mentioned that you read once and some particular sections.
Yeah, look, it all depends on your own experience. If you've gone through the PMP cert before, I read it once. If you haven't, you might want to read that a bit more. Yeah, but my view on, sorry to go back to this MSP versus PgMP or Prince 2 versus PMP. The Prince 2 and MSP ones, you can basically rock up to a course, and by the end of the week you got it. To me, that's pretty easy stuff, right? So this is why I consider that the PMI certifications more the gold standard. They are harder to get, and if you're anything like me, you want to be working on that hard stuff. That's where you really get the good satisfaction. Yeah, you want to challenge enough.
All right, I'll leave other questions for later, and keep writing your questions. So thank you very much, Ben, and I will take over from here. I will walk some more tips here. So basically, idea is how to pass the exam in first attempt, and I'm very happy to say that out of 2,365 PgMPs as of 1st of March, I have contributed success of 141 PgMPs. So it's around 6%. I think I should be happy at this stage. And the good thing is 2017 was really great for me, and 18 is also already great. So out of 345, I was able to contribute to 52 PgMPs. And so far, the target for 2018 is 100 PgMPs. So far, I have I think 11 or 12 PgMPs. So in next 2 months, I will see around 60 PgMPs. So I think that will be great. So I'm looking forward to many of you already on call. They already are part of my you are either my students or you're considering. So yeah, in advance, congratulations to you. So let's start how to write a perfect application, because application itself is a big thing, which you will find, difficult, something to start. If you're comparing PMP, then PGMP is much more involving, and that should not be your factor to not to consider PGMP, because yes, it may take some time, but if you are careful and if you sit down and if you have watched my video and my sample application, writing application will not be a problem. My expectation or PMI expectation to write up to 350 to 500 words, and make sure you use, as a first person, as the writing as first person, as a saying, because of me, I was responsible for this, I initiated that. I know all this word, it may sound, in real life you may not talk like that, especially in team meeting, I was responsible for everything. No, not really. But when you're writing this application is all about you. So please feel free to use as many times as you have. And only write your contribution, not others. Your sponsor is also doing something, other people also doing, but write only your experience. And describe your program management experience, how you applied those practices, how did you use the processes. But don't write about the process, don't about the artifact. I've seen some application when people start writing, okay, I did benefit relation plan, and benefit relation plan contains this. Not really. We don't want to know about this. PMI don't want to know about this. They want to know, how did you do your benefit relation plan? Who contributed to that? What was their process? And so and so. And so avoid textbook definition. So that is definitely no. Textbook, yes, PMI knows that, and you don't want to tell them that this is about project chart or this is the business case. All right, so how to study for the exam. I mean, Ben already mentioned many things. I will not go through them, but I will talk about some of the common mistakes we have and people are doing. Not understanding the exam complexity. Many people go to the exam with the mindset of PMP. This is not PMP. This is PGMP, and it is very involving, and it can be difficult if you have not followed certain, if you've not gone through some of the learning which Ben mentioned, reading PMBOK, and not understanding the task, which is another mistake. People think that by memorizing the task is good enough for them. So avoid memorization part. Understand, visualize, and see how things are working in a logical order. You need to know what comes first, what is next, what is, that kind of sequence. Very important for you. Time management is important during the exam. Before the exam, of course. During the exam, very important. You have 170 questions, and need to know how fast you have to go. And time to time, you have to readjust yourself. You don't want a situation you completed your 2 hours gone and you did only 50 questions. Yes, sometimes some people can do after 50 questions and then still can be complete the exam. And that was me. I will not go in the story. I did only 39 questions in 2 hours, and I was able to complete full exam in 20 minutes to go, and still passed in my first attempt. So that's you need to be hero for that. And but you need to manage your time as you go. You go with the plan that in 1 hour time I will complete 35 questions, 40 questions. There are some strategies as well. I discussed some of the strategies during the last session, and last session is very important. That is one-to-one session where I will be talking about what to do, what not to do, how to study, and suggestion like watching movie on the day before. Thanks, man, for accepting my invite. So it's all about clearing your mind, stress-free. I want you to go stress-free mind, and you will be, having enough sleep and spending time. So far you are avoiding spending time with your kids. Now, last day, you're going to spend time with them. That's the next point, studying till last minute. I have seen some people got very bad result because they were up until the last minute, they were just looking at the books. Some people went to the exam with one person actually went to the exam with night shift. After night shift, he went to the exam. So this is a difficult exam. So guys, please make sure you have enough rest before your exam, and don't touch the books, and don't touch anything for 24 hours. It's very easy to say, and it is difficult to implement, but if you are careful, if you listen to my voice, my advice, you will do very good in your exam. So enough rest. And the next point is talking about dependency on free online material. There are people adding material. Some of the material is not good enough. They just converted the PMP exam one-liner, what is program charter, what is business case. This is not, and you may start feeling that I'm scoring 100%. This is not a true reflection of exam. So as Ben suggested, Gene and Ginger's exam and my exam, there's 3 exams should be good enough. And I have criteria. Ginger, as Ben said, 65% in Ginger, and Gene 75%. Mine is around 80 to 85%. So it may cost you money, but is worth spending now. You don't want to repeat the exam and spending another $600. That is even worse. Spending $100, $200 should be better. Should be a better investment. Panic, never ever panic. I've seen some people left the exam after 2 hours because they got panic. They were stressed. They were taking too much pressure on themselves. So you need to control your exam. So make sure every question can be a make or break, but never ever panic. We need to work on the time management and how to pick the right answer in the shortest time. So keep your confidence going and keep your focus and get your exam done and pass the exam. Some people do make a mistake like not taking break, even if they are going through pressure, feeling pressure on the here as well as somewhere else. It's actually impacting your exam. So as Ben took after 2 hours, a few minutes break, toilet, wash your face, stretch, fresh oxygen, and if you have chocolate or something sitting in your mouth, you should try that as well. DIY, some people try to do by themselves. PMP is much easier exam to do, but this exam is a little bit difficult, so it's not going to be. It's good to seek out advice from professionals. I can be one of your trainer or mentor, and when I've seen people coming to me after first attempt, they failed exam. Dharam, can you help me? And the problem with that is, I can help you, but the problem is that damage is already done. When you go for exam in first attempt, and you already have a negative feeling about yourself, your confidence level goes down. So it is difficult for me to bring your lift your confidence. So do the good thing, just talk to somebody who can help you start with, especially for PgMP exam. And what you should do, study hard and prepare and have read good books, write books. Don't read too many books. That's another problem people have. So they buy everything in the world related to PgMP or program management, and they get confused. You need to buy the books which are closely aligned with PMI standard, because it's all about PMI exam. Enough rest, as I said earlier. Select your mentor. Yes, this is another thing. You should find the right mentor. Maintaining work-study life balance. Earlier, you were just maintaining your work-life balance. Here, you have to study as well. You may have to study during the travel, bus travel, or train travel, or when you're traveling, whatever time you can find. And part of my programs, especially mentoring program and even bootcamp, I start giving the recordings. And these recordings can be downloaded, can be watched anywhere, anytime. Okay, so you can think about that. Understanding the task from ECO, again, this is very, very important, not to memorize, to understand the task, and read SPM word by word. Especially after doing Ginger's first exam, you will know how important it is to read every word from the book. Okay, and you build your exam strategy. I will help you from a last session. Even if you're not taking my sessions, you can book one hour session with me. Of course, that will be that's where I will help you to find out your readiness and how much you have to do between now and your exam date. Mock exams. Do as many mock exams as you can, especially the one I told you or Ben mentioned. So don't panic. Keep your focus. Hard work is, work hard. You can do this. How to check your readiness? Of course, after doing mock exam, you need to see what's the gap, and there are certain percentage I mentioned already. For focus on that, 65% Ginger and Gene, 75 and 80% in mine. Yeah, use only reported question bank, and consistency in the mock exam is very, very important. So it may be hard, but it's not. It's worth it. Guys, it's not a rocket science. So, all right. So I will take you through journey, little bit journey. This is Ross. He is from Melbourne. He attended my program in 2013. We interviewed him recently to find out how PgMP helped him. So I will take him. It's a couple of minutes journey. If you can.
Can you guys hear any sound on that? I can't actually hear any sound.
Sorry, you can't hear that?
I can't hear any sound coming through now.
No? Okay. If you can't hear, then nobody else can hear, probably. Okay. Not sure why. All right. Then we'll stop this one. It's. I mean, what I will do, I'll share the this video. Sorry, this presentation, so people can watch later on. Anyway. All right. So, yeah, apologies about that. Okay. Just a little bit testimonial from Jagan. He passed his exam March 4th. Of course, he's also talking highly about my program. So I do get good testimonials, and I'm still waiting for Ben's testimonial, which is coming very soon. All right. Yeah, okay, that's enough of my advertisement. Okay, so some of the upcoming program, just to take a note of that. If you're in that area, you can contact me. I will. You can register to this program. If you cannot join this program, you have other options as well. Mentoring programs, which Ben was talking about, fast track group mentoring program, and there's a personal. If you want to have personal program as well, I have that option as well. And this is it gives you flexibility, and you can fast track your program and all those things. Group mentoring program, this is actually different to fast track mentoring program. So group mentoring program is where I'm covering the full. It's a 11th session, and covering the material as we go. And the fast track is it will give you the videos in advance. You can prepare yourself in advance. So there's two options, and you can pick one of them. Recorded, if you think that the time zone or the budget is your constraint, you can also go for recorded program. So difference between recorded and the fast track program is you have recordings and everything same, except you will not able to participate in the group sessions, which I found useful to have a group session, but it's up to personal style as well, just in case. All right, so some of the couple of programs coming up on 31st of March, that's for US time, 1st of April, starting 2 programs in Australian time zone. So I do have a special for you. I know because you're spending time with me. $100 discount if you're joining within next 2 hours. If you are joining, send me a message or put your question under questions. I will take it as your acceptance, and I will send you a PayPal request. All right, and the next program after 1st April will be that's probably final exam session with the SPM3. will be on 14th and 15th of April, 14th and 15th of April. Other thing you can have from me, application services, which you can buy independently, Challenger question, PgMP questions, and complete reference guide, Pathfinder, and so on. Okay, so just before we finish, I'm actually wanted to introduce one more program, which is going to be very useful for people who completed the exam or wanted to do the exam. The lack of ongoing learning and support group. So many people ask, how do we continue learning and earning PDUs? And if I am dealing with certain situation in my work issues, or who can support me? Or if I'm working on a document and who can guide me? And how to access the pool of knowledge from the certified highly experienced project program managers, portfolio managers? Is in a safe environment where we can have discussion confidently. So there are a few things. So I decided to start a program. I'm going to start very soon. And this will help you to earn PDUs as you go, and help you to build strategies to get headhunted. You know, finding a job, next job can be coming from this program. I do get requests for jobs, and I do publish them in Telegram and other groups. So this will be my first go-to group where people will know in advance, and how to negotiate your salaries and how to leverage. I mean, other things, LinkedIn is very, very powerful tool. Trust me, this is the most important, powerful tool. Yes, it can be annoying sometimes, but if you have good profile on LinkedIn, your good photo, and how some strategy, make sure you have good testimonials and other thing will help you to get headhunted by even from the recruitment agencies. I mean, we'll talk about some of the strategies in these sessions, and we'll help you to build a network, global network, and learn about system, processes, templates. So we're going to have ongoing meetings as well, like 1 to 2 hour sessions. We can pick a topic based on the common expectation, and we'll have a discussion. If you are dealing with particular situation, we can have a focus group, and we can bring team of people. Even you can participate in those groups and talk about your particular situation. So we have to see how many calls we are getting like that. And also you can have a discount up to 50% in our training programs. So it is a cost base, and just to give you idea, full price is $350 US per month, and 3,360 if you pay annually, full fees in advance. But first 20 members, 31st of March, you can save money, $250 per month or 2,400. So you have to see the value, how much value you're going to get from this program. Is this the best program for you or not? If you are interested, you can put mention your in the question or chat service, or you can send me a WhatsApp message or email address. And you can actually book some time with me. You check this, click this link, meetme.so Dharam Singh. You can book a time with me, 15 minutes or 30 minutes, just to discuss anything to do with the PgMP or anything else you like to discuss. It will allow you to book some time with me. You can, okay. Questions? I think I have plenty of questions I can see on the screen. If I can start reading them one by one, and yeah, I have to see where we stopped earlier. So did you read PMBOK completely, or only focus? I think we talked about that.
Yeah, for me, I read it start to the end, and then I went back in it if I felt I needed to brush up on anything.
Yeah.
So just once.
I think there's a lot of repeat questions. In order to, in which order did you practice? I think this is all done. Why I'm going? Did you attend practice question? Yeah, it's all done. I don't know why it's repeat. Okay, I think it's going upside down. Okay. No, there's not many questions there. Yeah. No, I think that's all from a question point of view. But you have my email address. You can see that there. I will share this recording with you. And also, if you want, I can also send this slides for you. And I will put that on YouTube. So if you or your friends like to watch this later on, you can do that. You can subscribe the YouTube channel. So whenever you are posting anything new, you will see that again. So I think that's it from us. Feel free to contact us. Even Ben would like to see if you want to connect with him via LinkedIn. Please feel free to do that. He can probably help you later on. And I'm here to help you. And yeah, please send your request, call me. And thank you very much, Ben, for your time. I know you're busy and especially working at this stage. Thank you for spending 1 hour with us.
Pleasure. I hope it was useful.
Yeah, it was useful, and I'm sure we'll get a lot of good feedback from on the Telegram group or somewhere. So thank you very much, and thanks all for participating. It was really pleasure working with you. Thank you.
Good luck, everybody.
Thank you.
See you, mate.
See you.